It's Week 10 of the 2024 season, and we'll see the Bears' star linebacker. He's coming off an excellent 12-tackle game last week. It's the Bears and the Caps, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Columbus Caps and the Chicago Bears. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, you look at this Bears team entering play. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Columbus club, they coming off their very first loss of the year, suffered a week ago.
Yeah, it will not be a perfect season, but I'm interested to see how they bounce back now that they know that chasing the 1972 Dolphins is out the window.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie. One of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. Now it's Fields. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Fields, we know he has the good mobility. He flashes it there as he scrambles for the first down.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. First carry now for David Montgomery. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The numbers on the ground for Montgomery in last week's affair. 18 carries, 57 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that, but they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Beating him there with his legs, 21 yards, first down. And this, I mean, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that, and here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game, and all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. They'll go option on 2nd down, right side. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Fields. And that is incomplete. So Tyler Bass on now for the field goal. On the right hash, officially this will be a 51-yard attempt. The kick by Bass is good. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first.
They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16.
Charles, that's a route that you and I have seen time and time again in our years up in this booth, and that executed well and a great throw, too.
And sometimes, even if you know it's coming, the execution will trump whatever you do on the defensive side of the ball. Plus, it was a well-thrown football. A nice, healthy gain right there.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
Well, every now and then I can speak from experience because I do know, as a defender, it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They're going to look to throw. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year.
And the Caps are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead. But Charles, here in their opening series, they said they had certain plays scripted for certain players. That looked like a well-designed play to get one of their top targets involved.
Yeah, let's face it, Brandon. A player of his talent is a problem for any opponent to defend, and we saw it right there. They tried to deny an open lane to him. He still outplayed the coverage and scored the early touchdown. Good luck trying to figure out how to defend him as this game moves on.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Fielded just outside the goal line.
Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game.
3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start. Is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here because to me, this ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5, maybe they start believing in themselves. But a loss here, that would move them to 3-6. And if that's the case, well, that boat is going to head out to the harbor with them still on the dock.
Back to Montgomery on second down. And he'll get this past the 20 as he gets about 4. Throwing on third down, Fields.
And this is caught, but I don't think he stayed in bounds. No, he didn't. It's incomplete. The throw took him past the boundary, and it's 4th. And he punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This is taken at the 23.
A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt.
Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their second drive.
Just the one misstep for them in the first half of the season. 7-1 is the record at the midway point. And in terms of whatever power rankings you want to go by, they're at or near the top of the list in terms of best teams in the National Football League.
And for me, in my little bit of rankings here, I've got them at the top. I know there's still 2 months to go, and we've seen teams get off to hot starts and then fade away due to injuries or the schedule or whatever. But unless there are a rash of injuries on this team, I'd be surprised if they aren't a first or a second seed come playoff time.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage, if he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Boy, the offensive line there, that was a thing of beauty to watch them block.
I love how you give a little appreciation for those big guys up front, and well-deserved. But how about the execution behind them? You can see the hours of practice that have gone into it. Great pocket by the running back. Quarterback puts it right in the perfect spot. Great mesh point by them. The timing on point. The run even better.
Yeah. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away.
It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Flushed out right. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down. He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And he's brought down.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with first and goal.
And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, second and goal. They'll drop to throw. Touchdown! From 3 yards out, as his guys are able to extend their lead.
A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. So that drive goes 8 plays. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
Now the Bears offense ready to take over again.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Fields now to throw. On the move to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Dances by him. Good coverage there. An even 50-yard punt leads to a return of 5. And getting our first update now from Nashville. And it's the Titans who are off to the early lead in that ball game. We'll keep an eye on that game and others as each week becoming more important here in November. They'll start with the option. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. The loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. He's got a man, complete. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
And boy, that was something to watch, wasn't it? How about the way these guys came out here in the first quarter? They really put their stamp on this game early with their play calls, and they certainly look good so far.
Yeah, and the next-gen stats showing that at an even 57 yards through the air. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After one, a 14-3 ball game. Columbus with the football here to begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game, and no signs of slowing down.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And it's 21-3. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. The Chicago offense set to get started. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Back to Montgomery on 2nd down. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Here's Fields. Oh, into a sea of defenders have intercepted.
And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
Eddie Jackson with a tackle. Here's a 2nd and 7. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Back to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. A good display of footwork. It gets him just inside the 5 to the 4. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. They'll set up a throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he is going to lose yardage here. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and goal. Back to throw again. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. And his kick is right there. It's good. And the lead up to 3 touchdowns now. It's 24-3.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
Montgomery, another target and catch.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Now Fields.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Evans. The Bears on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Fields.
To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. They'll try the middle with Montgomery. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Second down, here's an option right. He'll be taken down well behind the line, and I think he might have just given those 4 yards right back. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, he's had success running the football in this one. That's undeniable. At that time, the defense was on to it.
I think the more you see a play like this, the more they're able to diagnose it quicker and easier for them to defend it. I think you have to dress it up a little bit and show maybe some different formations and looks.
Back to throw. Fields.
That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. Yeah, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
On 3rd down, you'll give them that. You just want to make sure that you play the first down line. They were able to get him down and force the punt.
Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to kick it away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Their dreams of an undefeated season shattered with the loss a week ago. Now, look, whenever an undefeated team goes down, you always hear some say, well, they needed that. I don't know, Charles. Is that a narrative that you buy into?
Well, I haven't met a coach yet that feels like they needed that loss. You know, that's not something that they're in favor of. But I do know this. People like us, our colleagues, all of us in the media, constantly hammering a team that's undefeated. Hey, do you think you can do it the whole season? Can you carry it the whole way? That does wear down a group, and sometimes that loss, get us off your back, you can move forward from there.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now they try the right side here. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. 2nd and 9 now. And that is incomplete. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. They'll set up to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And I don't think he got there. No. He's short by maybe a foot. Maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And this one is no good. He missed it. And the lead will hold at 3 touchdowns.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
You see David Montgomery heading back out to begin the drive.
He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
A good pickup there at 22.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there, and he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
They'll try to run wide side with Montgomery, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14.
To throw is Fields.
And his throw is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Fields. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Mike Evans. A 24-yard touchdown.
And the Bears are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
And they use that height on the outside to get the score.
We've seen the evolution of the wide receivers. They've gotten taller and taller, but they've retained their quickness and their speed. It's a lethal combination.
Always good to have wide receivers with height.
Extra point by Bass, up and good.
And that cuts the lead to 24-10. Just a 4-play drive that time.
And it's Mike Evans who caps it with a touchdown reception. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Taken in at the 3.
Now a hit and a loose football.
We remind you in just a couple of minutes we'll get you to Orlando and our good friend Jonathan Coachman. Coach will run through some of the numbers and the next-gen stats from this first half of football so far.
A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Back to throw here. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed inbound.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
Tyler Bass now for the point after.
He's got it, and it's 24-17. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And not an abundance of time remains on the clock, Charles, but you would think more than enough to try to extend this lead before intermission.
And when you're talking about extending the lead, I think you're talking about aiming for the end zone because there is plenty of time for that. The fallback is to get...
He's got a man, complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. They'll look to throw. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. They run a draw here on 2nd down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. Looking to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete.
And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Back to throw now on first down. Going to throw right side here, complete. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in a minute, but first, let's take a spin around the NFL and see what's going on here in week number 10. We'll begin out in Houston, and it's the Texans who've got the lead in the second quarter. The Texans locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. From there, let's get to the Meadowlands to check on the Giants at home at MetLife Stadium. And they currently trail the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. 3 touchdown passes there for Jalen Hurts. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world and see what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Buffalo Bills. Robert Woods with 3 touchdown receptions. Time now for a check of the next-gen stats for our visitors in the first half. And our statisticians got through a couple of pencils already. This offense is on pace for potentially 500 yards in passing. That's pretty incredible. Meanwhile, for the Bears, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half, as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. And this offense set to go now to begin the third quarter. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
And they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
Here's a handoff out of the gun.
Holding offense.
Now they face a second and long following the holding penalty.
And they'll run on the inside handoff.
And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. Out of the gun now on third down. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack.
That was a corner blitz, and it was Kyler Gordon getting in there for the sack.
To me, the defense was a little gas near the end of the first half, but they've come out of the locker room with a little extra spring in their step. Wonder what they did at halftime to get them so motivated.
I don't know, but that sack looked good. Now let's see if they can build on the momentum of that play. And they'll send out their punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Bears take over. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on.
Fields going to take this himself.
A nice little juke. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Really good effort. He does it himself, picks up 15, also picks up the first down.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Now a give running left with Montgomery. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39.
Now it's Fields.
Finds his tight end Ingram.
And he'll be brought down at the 27.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On 2nd and 12, Fields. And this one is incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Out of the gun, Fields.
And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
He certainly had plenty of success running the ball, and right now I'm getting the sense that he's looking to take off and run every time he steps back to throw it.
But they did a nice job there collapsing on him and holding him to a short gain.
So Tyler Bass on now for the field goal.
He hit his first one, this from 44 yards out now.
The kick by Bass is good.
And this is back down to a 7-point game.
So 3 points, maybe not a grand prize at this stage, but it does get them back within 1 score.
It certainly does, because now they stay within shouting distance. So that means everyone on your sideline stays engaged in this game. They know they still have a shot.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Columbus's offense just about ready to go again. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts.
Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Samson Ibuka. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10.
Like how they've started the 3rd quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room.
Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games, and we're seeing a pretty good one right now, hotly contested in the third quarter.
And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Buying time to his left.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Johnson, and the Bears are going to take possession of the football.
Gardner, I think this one won't arrive very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
And they'll take over here following the interception with a chance to tie the ball game. It's 1st and 10.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Running left, Montgomery. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Read option. Here's Montgomery.
It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
A shotgun snap, Fields. And this will be caught by Mooney.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
A very important 3rd down conversion right there, because when you're trailing and find yourself this deep in enemy territory, the kicker's not even part of your thought process. You got to make it pay off with 6. Nice connection right there to set up 1st and goal.
Here's Fields.
Looking middle, and that's complete. Touchdown, Bears! Evan Ingram from 8 yards out.
And the Bears take advantage of the short field and finish it off with a quick touchdown.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed, way harder to cover than before.
Extra point by Bass, up and good.
And we are tied at 27 all. Boy, hard to ask for a better game thus far. 27 apiece is our score as the kick's away.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And their lead has evaporated in this 3rd quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
67 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They'll drop to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I'm glad you're with us from Soldier Field in Chicago. 3rd quarter here, 2nd and 10.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 44-yard line. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. He'll look to throw. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete.
Hands it off out of the gun.
And he gets it down to the 32. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Working with a 2nd and 3.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive could take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. He'll look to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. A great play there. With his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year.
And the Caps answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th. So, Charles, this game feels like it has been punch, counter punch all throughout, and that touchdown breaks our tie here in the 4th quarter.
You're making me want to get back in the gym and start training again. You talk about those punches and counter punches. I also think this is where you and I start thinking to ourselves, who's going to make the play to change that, right? Who's going to get out of this little cycle that they're in right now and make a play and give their team a firm advantage?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Chicago offense set to get started. They now trail by 7 after that last touchdown here in the 4th quarter. What a big spot for this offense. See if they can cobble something together on this drive. On 1st down, Fields. Dancing to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Fields going to keep it once more. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nice pickup, 10 yards and a 1st down on the keeper.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting him today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you've got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone that's the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th.
They run the option here on 1st and 10.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Considering they've seen him have some big gains against him throughout this game, that's got to feel like a measure of revenge as they trap him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11.
Here's Fields.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We've seen this play a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes.
And the defense coming through on third down, a loss of 7 to bring up fourth.
A 3rd and long, you knew that he was going to throw it. He just couldn't find anybody to throw it to.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been a surprise, but that was perfect execution of their nickel defense. That 5th defensive back, the extra defender, he really tightened up things downfield in coverage, and they were able to get to him in the pocket.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
It always helps when you get great run support from your safeties, and when you get one who can actually read the play and get upfield and shut it down before it gets going, it's exactly what you're looking for.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And it's a fumble. And this is picked up by the Bears. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching, execution, and absolute belief. Because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done. But they still thought to themselves, if we can make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it. And that's exactly what they did.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A give to Montgomery out of the gun.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line.
16 yards is the pickup there on a 1st down for Chicago. They held him in check in the first half, but that's his longest carry of the game right there.
So would this be the definition of fresh legs since he didn't get much done in the first half? Now he has a great opportunity. He's taking full advantage of it.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
They'll keep pounding here with Montgomery. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And they'll get him down right around the 16.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Throwing on 3rd down, Fields.
The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
4th down, Fields has to have this one. Locates Mooney on the out route.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal.
Montgomery.
He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. 2nd down and goal.
Fields.
To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Fields now to throw.
And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. A tough time to take the sack. Now it's 4th and goal, and that's a loss of 6.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Bass is good, and that'll bring them back within 4. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, fourth quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. They'll look to throw here. To the sideline, he's got the catch, and he kept the feet in bounds. Well done. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's our visitors with the football as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. Well, not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. 2nd and 6. He'll keep it himself. And a short gain here down to the 22. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Back to throw. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors, and a little bit of a surprise they lose the turnover battle, but wind up winning the ballgame.
And this is very unusual because you know all teams stress winning the turnover battle as a key indicator to winning ball games. So when you get something that goes against the grain like the one we saw here, it's quite the oddity. Now let's face it, they'll be very happy that they pulled this off, but they do know that in the future they've got work on taking care of the football because this won't happen very often.
So for our visitors, they're setting themselves up as a major contender as they move to 8-1 now on the year. And they'll have another road date next week with the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for the Bears, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers.